Hello, everybody, and welcome to Peaches and Power Bombs. We are your hosts for this evening, Majestic Marie and Alora Presley. We are here to talk about some wrestling, and hopefully, we won't sneeze or cough or blow our nose too hard into the microphone.
Yeah.
We're both getting over sickness. I had that Royal Rumble Rona. It was pretty bad. Um, it knocked me out for a couple weeks but I'm doing better. I'm here. I can eat solid food again, so we're all good. How are you
Good.
doing?
I'm doing good. As you can see, Mina is ready to be live as well, as always.
Of
Think
course,
she
our little Peach Man's mascot over there.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she's more ready than we are sometimes.
S- that's not a lie. That's not a lie.
No.
There's sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel so bad. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But
At one point, the video was going and she was on the chair behind me and I'm like, oh, she's gonna make an appearance. Come here, baby. I'll hold you. Yeah, she jumps down, runs away. She wants people to think that I'm torturing her and I'm not. She's just bad.
oh, our good friend Christine is here, and she says she's sending love from Ohio. We appreciate
Yes,
it. Thank you for joining us, one
as
of our
always.
regulars.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and get the business out of the way. Everybody, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you haven't told your friends about us yet, we are trying so desperately to make it to 1,000 by the end of the year. We are about 60 away from having 700 followers on
Really?
Facebook. I believe so.
Ah.
So, please tell your friends about us. We are working really hard trying to get our names and faces out there so we can eventually have that Eddie Kingston interview
Yes.
that needs to happen.
Yeah, and we can follow like in Sean Ross Sapp's footsteps and stuff and actually go to all the WrestleManias and all the Summer Slams and all that. Maybe one day. You never know.
But yes, we need your help though in order to be able to get there. So you have to tell your friends about Peaches and Power Bombs.
And how awesome we are.
Speaking of good friends, we have some good friends in the chat. We have
Hey,
Gary
we got
Joe.
some good news.
He says, "Great news! I found two girls for the women's month in March. Yay!
Woo.
Yes,
Hey.
we're hopefully going to do a collaboration with the girls of Honor the Elite and their little thing that they like to do. We like to do a women's panel in March as well for Women's History Month. So hopefully all of that stuff will work out. We will get with you soon, Gary. We've been trying to work on that. So, and of course, Ray All Day. Hello, Adam Cole is king. Why turn the Rock heel and Orange is 13 pounds? um,
Oh yeah, we got to do that. We got to get Ray All Day on here.
absolutely. We got to do that soon. We'll do that soon. And another one of our regulars is here, Miss Alma, and she says, "Hello, how are y'all doing? I'm good, resting up and watching NXT. Hope all is well with you both." Well, that's great. Carmelo Hayes, he really did whoop that trick, didn't he?
He did. He's on our boo list.
Boo.
He is on our boo list.
I love Trick Williams. There's something about him.
Me too.
He's very special. Very special.
Yeah, there is definitely that it factor about him. I just know he's going to be a big player on the main roster one day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, do that. That awesome.
Everybody share the live feed. Everybody share the live feed. Following Gary Joe's footsteps over there.
Everybody. Oh, sorry.
That's
It's
okay.
the sugar from the buttercream I just made. It's okay, guys. It's
Okay.
okay.
So for the show, Alora,
Do
are
what?
are you ready for the show?
I'm ready for the show.
Are you sure? The Briscoe brothers say we might not be ready, but we're gonna get them hyped us up.
Yeah. Mina, are we ready? Are you ready?
Well, let's find out.
Let's find out.
No way, chick. Ain't ready. There ain't no way, man. Ain't ready. Ain't no way y'all could possibly be ready. You can say you're ready as many times as you want. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Y'all boys ain't ready. There's no way, man. Talking about they anxious. You hear him, chick? Hey, somebody losing sleep. They losing sleep, baby. Man, I've been getting the best sleep of my life. I've been snoring, baby. Snoring, I've been snoring. Dreaming about this ass.
That never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
And I just noticed that Jay was like doing this like little jump there at the end, and I was like, oh, I miss that so much.
I know.
It's so sad.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
Okay.
it is. Sorry. I just realized that I have not turned my calendar over to February. That probably would help.
That might help.
Whoops.
So Ray already kind of went into this, but we have to talk. This is like the news of the century right here.
Of course.
We have to talk about this, and everybody wants to talk about this, so we're going to go ahead and get started on this.
Throw our 2 cents in.
Oh my goodness. It's been a whirlwind. Like, I've been sick this entire time, but it still feels like it's been an eternity.
Yeah, I gotta get your thoughts, because, like,
so much has happened, and I don't know what they're doing, but it's also a good thing that I don't know what they're doing, because it makes everything more interesting when you don't see the path, because usually you can see the road to WrestleMania from a distance, right? You can figure it out within just
sometimes
like that.
you can see it light years away, yeah.
And this year has been completely different because they just been throwing curveball after curveball. And I think they had planned on Cody and Roman, and then The Rock was like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm available. So they're like, oh, we gotta have The Rock in here. Forget about Cody and his story. No one cares. Everybody wants The Rock and Roman Reigns, which fans have been clamoring for the past couple years. Am I correct? We have talked about it before too, right? We all wanted that match.
Oh, I still do.
Oh, I do too. I do too. I never had a problem with them doing that match. It was the way that it went about. It was just confusing and weird. Okay, I was there at the Rumble. Okay. I was there at the Rumble. I saw with my own little eyeballs Cody Rhodes step up onto the turnbuckle, look into the box or whatever that Roman was sitting at, pointing at Roman, saying, "I choose you.
I choose you, Pikachu.
I choose you, Pikachu." And then after the camera stopped rolling, Cody grabs the microphone and he says, "I'm sorry for what happened at WrestleMania 39. I'm going to make it up to you, and we are going to finish the story at WrestleMania 40. He promised us." And then 6 days later on SmackDown, he's going, "You know what? I'm going to finish my story one day, but not at WrestleMania." And I'm like, wait, what? You just said 6 days ago that you were finishing the story at
told me
WrestleMania.
to my face.
He did. He told us to our face. If you were there. And they just totally went away from that. And then there was all of the backlash.
Yeah.
All of the online fussing. Wah, we don't want this. We want Cody to finish the story. I can see both sides, okay? On one side, I can see The Rock versus Roman Reigns is a huge huge match that is kind of, there's not many WrestleMania dream matches left, and that's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, Cody Rhodes did win the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
People have been waiting for 2 years to see Cody finish his story. We've been waiting and waiting for it to happen. Everyone thought it was going to happen last year, and it didn't. And somehow it even built up to even more, even better than we previously thought.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looked like they were going to take it all away from us. And they were going to do the classic WWE thing where they don't listen to what the fans really want. And boy, were we wrong. Because come Thursday during that press conference or kickoff show or whatever you want to call it, The Rock has this unique ability of reading the room. He doesn't try to force himself the way a lot of people do. He usually goes with it. And this is what he did. He read the room and he's like, "Oh, okay. If you want me to be the bad guy, I'll be the bad guy." So instead of facing Roman, it looks like he might be joining Roman. So what did you think about all of that with Cody coming out there saying, calling BS, and telling him that his ancestors would be ashamed of him and all of this other kind of stuff?
Ooh, those were fighting words. Well, I did my initial reaction like before the press conference, and so there was a lot of questions in the air. Like there were so many things we were wondering. Like, okay, was CM Punk supposed to win the Rumble? Was there audible called? You're just like, okay, because Cody said that, and then not at WrestleMania. You're like, wait a minute, whoa, what, and yeah, and then the press conference happens, and then it's like Cody changes his mind, which is fine because he has earned that right, and so whatever. So I'm thinking there's a lot beneath the surface that we still don't know that is still brewing, and it has yet to reach to the surface, and so I've been listening to a lot of good mic work these last few days because I've been having to go back and forth to see my mom and stuff. So I have like an hour and a half trip, maybe 2 to 3 hours total. So I get a lot of podcasts listening in. I normally don't get that in. But he made a lot of valid points that I agreed with. And the more he was talking about it, I was just like, you know what? He's onto something. That's why I love listening to him, because he's very, very knowledgeable, and he has all these great ideas. And he said one of the first things he thought when he saw the press conference was it was very reminiscent to the build up to WrestleMania 14, where Tyson, Mike Tyson, and Stone Cold Steve Austin had that confrontation. And see, back then, 25 years ago, that was big. I remember it making front page of our little small town newspaper. Like, that was how big that was, and it is not like that this time per se, but how everything went down was reminiscent to the buzz created, right? And who's to say that The Rock and Cody are in cahoots all this time, saying, look, let me get The Rock or Roman to trust me. I'll be on his side, get him swayed or whatnot. We'll have this match of respect, and or whatever. Or he's like, yeah, we'll convince him to be on his, I'll be on his side. I could be a special guest referee or something like that. Make him think, oh yeah, this is, make him think everything's set in stone, and then he could just, do like Tyson did, count the 3, and he could take an American Nightmare shirt, throw it on Roman, and call it a day. it is little stuff like that, and I was like, those are all good theories. It's one of those things where it leaves you with more questions than answers, and it's not in a frustrating way. It's kind of like it's getting everybody engaged. I think from the initial statement on, everybody's engaged. Yeah, there's emotions, and then there's, you know, there's all these emotions and everything, but people are still talking, and people are wondering what's next, and that's what you need. That's what people want. How it's going to play out, I think they're just going to give us a little bit each week to leave us wanting more, like, ooh, you know, it's just
Roman Reigns and The Rock are supposed to be on SmackDown Friday, so it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and too, you know, too, there's all these things as well. What if Roman works night 1 and night 2? Like, I kind of don't want that, because that could take away from somebody. But at the same time, we got 2 nights now.
Yeah, I don't think it would. I really don't think it would.
Yeah, so we have 2 nights now, and it ain't gonna be like, you know, what happened with Bryan Danielson at WrestleMania 30. He wrestled in the first match, and then he wrestles in the final match. That was another point he good Mike Work brought up too. It could be a triple threat match, and I'm like, I don't want that.
No, I don't.
I do not want that at all.
It's not going to be. All signs point towards a tag match at some point. You said you think that might be at Elimination Chamber.
I think so, because, you know, I think so because, you know, the winner of the Elimination Chamber is going to face Seth at WrestleMania. How you going to fit? So
Seth can wrestle twice too.
Yeah, but then there's that argument again where, well, you got these people working 2 nights in a row.
They do it all the time.
Yeah,
they really do. I mean, they can live shows. It out. The live shows, they're on the road like 4 to 5 days a week, something like that. They wrestle every night. It's just we don't see it.
Right, of course.
So it's nothing that they're not used to.
Yeah.
I mean, the only person is, you know, The Rock ain't gonna wrestle twice, but he wasn't in the equation for night 2 anyway. And Roman will just have to wrestle twice. And he can. It's really not a big deal. We can take care of this tag team match on night 1, and then you can have their prospective title matches on night 2. Seth and I have a feeling that Drew McIntyre is going to win the Elimination Chamber match. I guess we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But
yeah,
you can have his title match start the show on night 2, and then Cody and Roman finish it, of course. So
I got you.
Yeah, that
it could go a lot of different ways. I think that's a fair idea too. You know.
Especially since the fact, I don't know if you listened to Triple H at the beginning of that press conference, but he was talking about how all of these first WrestleManias, the main events were tag team matches.
That's a valid point.
He talked about Paul Orndorff and
that is
Roddy
true.
Piper versus Hogan and Mr. T, and you know, things like that. So
that is true. That is a very good point. And another point that good Mike Quirk brought up, WrestleMania 20 and WrestleMania 30 main events were triple threats. But again, I don't want a triple threat match, because I don't want to make it to WrestleMania 50 if I'm even here and be like, well, I can already tell you we're going to have a triple threat match. It happened the past 30 years. You know, I have my little gray hair and my cane, you know.
Well, and Triple H also made another point at the beginning of that this is a new WWE, a new era. So they could do something completely different than we're thinking too. So
Hey, I'm down. Whatever. Whatever happens, I think they're really playing it smart either way. They're keeping everybody guessing. So I think in the end result, everybody's going to be happy, and really and truly, everybody wins.
Yeah. But at some point, it will be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. I don't know if you saw when he pulled up the bloodline and everybody's name on it, right, in their family tree.
Well, mine wasn't on there. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Well, you haven't married Roman yet, okay? So
no.
your name's not on there yet. Anyway,
and it won't be. It's okay. I'm not.
If you look at
funny.
it, if you look at it, The Rock lists himself as the tribal chief, not Roman Reigns. So they are already planting seeds. That match will happen at some point.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be huge when it does. It will.
Yeah, that's exactly what Christine's saying. Let me bring her comment up. Think of the numbers that a match of Rock and Roman will bring in. Oh yeah, I think it's just the way they initially brought everything in that caused such an uproar, and it could have been a hiccup or whatever. But hopefully they'll rectify that situation. But I do love the fact that The Rock actually spoke about it, was talking about the Cody crybabies, the passionate Cody fans. It was funny.
He was talking about chicken nuggets, and then last night on Monday Night Raw, Cody was like, "What are we supposed to do with those chicken nuggets?" And then he looks over at Pat McAfee. Well, the Rock was saying, "Yeah, they're in one hand, and you stick them up your rear end or whatever." And then he looks over at Pat McAfee and he goes, "Hey, Pat, you were there. What am I supposed to do with these nuggets?" And Pat was so funny. He goes, "Stick them up your ass." Like, whoa.
And Pat McAfee would be that fool that would repeat.
Yes, he would. He's keeping the log on the fire. It's funny.
That's another good point, Christine.
Well, we were talking about one night and then the other night, not twice in one night. But
well, the good thing is, if this is like a tag match, Cody could do most of the work, and Seth can stay on the outside. So, in a way, that protects him. So,
yes. Also,
sorry.
We'll talk about. I don't know if we should talk about this now or later. But I have a feeling that Drew McIntyre is going to win the Elimination Chamber match and challenge Cody. I mean, not Cody, but Seth.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not like 100%, you could have him just totally ransack over Seth and it be a short match. And anyway, I don't think if Drew wins, he's not going to be champion for very long. Because I have a feeling that Damian Priest is going to cash in that night.
He has it till July 1st. Oh God, that would. Can you imagine how mad Drew would be? I love that Drew turned heel and he's playing like this devil's advocate.
Oh, he's a troll and it's great.
I love it.
Did you see one of his Instagram videos where he's like, he's working out and he goes, "It's gotta work out them triceps." I'm like, oh.
And he'll go, "It's tricep day."
It's so great. It's great. Another thing that's great, we'll talk about our other Royal Rumble winner here, Miss Bayley. I thought that this was going to be a slow burn, but they went straight for it.
Full throttle.
And that's okay with me too. So Bayley and Damage Control minus Dakota Kai comes out there on one SmackDown. I think it's the SmackDown after the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And they're making faces behind her and stuff when she's talking about sisterhood everybody always having each other's backs and everything like that, and how her plan is working and everything. And she turns around, she says something in Japanese. I forgot to ask my husband what it was. I meant to, and I forgot. I'm sorry. But she said something, and they had a shocked look on their face, like, and they're like, she's like, yeah, I picked that up from the times that y'all have been talking behind my back. And it got ugly.
Yeah, it did.
And they turned on her and beat her down. And then she finally, officially challenges Io Sky at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I liked how that all went down, and on SmackDown I saw that Dakota Kai picked her side, and
For
she's
now.
fighting with Bailey. Yeah,
That we know of.
that we know of for sure.
She didn't actually hit them. She hit the ropes with that chair. So nice other little tidbit that they're still planting seeds of doubt. This is so great.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I wanted wrestling to be a couple years ago, and I'm so happy that we're getting back to this.
Mm-hmm. And WrestleMania, well, always to me, WrestleMania season always had that little bit of excitement to it that kept you guessing. But it's really on a whole different pedestal now.
It is, and Bailey is an exceptional talent, and she does all of it right, the little things right, and her facial expressions and the way she carries herself. And I thought Damage Control, I thought the Kairi Sane and Asuka and Io Sky did really well in this segment too. You know, they did a really good job as well, and I'm excited about all of this. And hopefully we get one more hoorah for the hugger. That's what I want. I want one last Hugger Bailey match. She tightened her ponytail at the end of the Royal Rumble. I'm holding on to my hope. Anything else?
Yeah, I think Bailey's gonna get that from Io for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she deserves it. We talked about that last time, how much she deserved it, and nothing's changed in that aspect.
No. She's not wrong.
What she said.
She's not wrong. He's a very nice looking man, and I've seen him up close. So, yeah.
If you notice, if you ever met them, like whether it's at a house show or meet and greet, they always smell so good. Have you ever noticed that? You just
not after they wrestle, they don't, but they do. Like,
shoot, girl,
that ring stinks. I'm sorry. Ugh.
I do remember, like when we met. When I had my picture with Roman up close after he wrestled Randy, they both smelled good.
Well, Roman and Randy are Roman and Randy.
They smelled so good. And I'm just like, oh,
that's a whole other tier of man. Okay.
I needed AI back in 2015 because that cologne smell stayed on my shirt after I took my picture with Roman, and I slept in it that night. Okay, because I'm like, it smells so good. It smells
You're
just
crazy.
like you. I just need I'm like, what is he wearing? I need to know.
That's funny.
At least I'm not like that girl on Twitter years ago that stole his water bottle, and she's like, "You taste like cherry," and he's like, that's weird.
What a weirdo. No. No, absolutely not. No.
I'm not.
It was
not
funny.
That wild.
It was funny when we were on our way down to Tampa. Adam, my husband, was like, "Hey, what are you going to do if you meet anybody?" And I was like, "I don't know. I guess it depends on who it is." He goes, what if it's Randy? And I was like, well, I'll go over and say hi and that I'm a big fan, but I don't want to bother him. So I would just probably say, hi, I'm a big fan. Thanks. That's it. He goes, anybody else? And I was like, no, I'll probably just leave him alone. He goes, but you would go and say hi to Randy. I was like, yeah, I would go say hi.
Well, yeah, duh.
And it's funny though, because I didn't meet anybody, but he did. He went to a video game store the day of the show while me and my dad were resting and stuff at the hotel.
Uh-huh.
And Kaiser and Vinci came into the video game store.
Oh wow. Awesome.
He didn't go up to him or anything, but he told me about it, so that was pretty
While
cool.
we're talking about meet and greet, can we speaking of WrestleMania, I want to segue for a second. Did I ever tell you the story about when I was in New Orleans and what happened after my friend Sherry and I went on the river cruise?
I don't know.
Okay, so we went to WrestleMania 30, and anyway, this was before WrestleMania 30. This was like on a Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. But anyway, we went on the Steamboat Natchez for a dinner cruise. Just something to do different, totally non-wrestling related, but something to do that stood out, during our trip. So we went on the Steamboat Natchez, did this dinner cruise, and we had an amazing time. They had this jazz band playing. You're on Mississippi and get all this fresh air. And so we get off the boat and we're walking back towards our car, and our parking area was like just outside the French Quarter. So like we're walking all through the French Quarter and everything. And so we're kind of getting to the less crowded area. And there's like these group of guys, me and her are just walking. There's these group of guys that are walking, and they all kind of segue. So I go through. And Sherry's like, hey guys, it's good to see y'all. And she's like, we'll see y'all tomorrow. They're like, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm like looking at her like, who the hell was that? Marie. It was like Justin Gabriel, Zack Ryder. It was some of the wrestlers.
That's hilarious.
And I didn't notice a single one of them. Oh God. I gotta ask her who all was it, because I don't. It was like Tyson Kidd, Justin Gabriel.
That's really
Zack
funny.
Ryder. Those are three of them. It was like 6 or 7 of them, and I'm just like,
that was like the time a couple years ago, right when AEW was starting, and I was still teaching classes at the DDP Yoga Performance Center, and Darby Allin came into one of my classes.
oh wow.
And he puts his mat right in front of me. I was on the stage, and he puts his mat right down in front of me. And I didn't recognize him at first, but he was doing some of the moves wrong. So I was going down there and correcting him and stuff. And then, like, after the class and everything, he rolls up his mat and he walks out. And then I was like, I recognize him, but I don't know who that was. I can't think of his name. And then everybody starts running up to me. He goes, do you know who that was? Do you know who that was? He took your class. And I'm like, I don't know who that was. They were like, it was Darby Allin. I was like, who's Darby Allin? And I'm sitting here telling him what to do.
Oh. Oh my God. Hold on. This is why we have this.
And that's clear.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Christine. She says she loves our stories.
Christine, that happened 10 years ago in New Orleans, and I'm still not able to live that down.
No. If I ever meet Darby Allin again, I will be like, I'm so embarrassed.
Oh my God. Yeah, I just missed the share. I was like, who all was that again? So now even 10 years later, I still don't remember.
That's funny. Oh my goodness. All right. So we're trying to move on. We're trying to move on.
I hope y'all enjoyed story time with Peaches and Power Bombs, baby.
Yes.
Excuse me.
The story is hopefully finished now.
Hopefully.
Not Cody's, but ours.
Yeah. No, Sherry, if Sherry messes me back, I'll let y'all know.
She'll probably be like, "You still don't know who that was?"
That's probably what she's gonna say. And the sad part is, Marie, we talked about it earlier.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have qualifier matches going on right now on Raw and SmackDown. And so far for the women's elimination chamber match, we have Becky and Liv Morgan and Bianca who are qualified, and I think we got 3 more to go.
Okay.
And then for the guys' side, we have Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, LA Knight, and Bobby Lashley. And I think we have 2 more to go with them. So that's what it looks like to me. Out of the choices that we have, I would say just because they're hyping up Becky versus Rhea so much, they did that thing at the press conference where they got in each other's faces and all that kind of stuff. I would say that Becky is probably going to win the Elimination Chamber for the women's.
Yeah, I think they gave that away at the press conference. Here's a freebie.
That's okay. The match is
Yeah.
still going to be fun to watch anyway.
Oh, yeah. They've been teasing that for a while, though, so it's okay.
And really, on the men's side, anything can happen because out of the people that we already have, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, all of those are strong contenders, and you could see them challenging Seth at WrestleMania. But I just have a feeling it's going to be Drew, but, you know, it really could be any of these guys.
Yeah, I agree.
But we will have to see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, there's 2 more to be announced for the men's, and then there's 3 more to be announced for the women's.
I really did think it was weird. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Bobby Lashley who went over. I thought it was weird that they didn't have Bronson Reed qualify for this match since he is from there. But he lost his match, so he's not gonna.
Yeah, yeah, he I saw earlier he posted on social media that he thought he would be there, and he was like, "Sorry, you know."
Yeah. Well, maybe they can give him something.
I hope so. I mean, he would be a hometown favorite, just like Rhea Ripley is.
Right. Oh, and Rhea Ripley also will be challenging, going against Nia Jax, I believe.
Mhm.
So that'll be interesting to see. I'm not a huge fan of Nia, but I think she's one of the few women who are actually getting the heat that she's actually supposed to be getting.
She takes advantage of it.
Yep. She's been doing a good job with that lately.
Mm-hmm. I always figured there was room for improvement with her, but I really like how she handles the heat. Not everybody can handle that, and I think she does very well at that. But then again, she has obviously learned from the best.
Wonderful memories or pain-stricken ones that cause embarrassment and
There are definitely stories to tell.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, it's
Conversation starters at a wrestling show. Hey, have you ever met this person? Apparently I did and never knew. Ha!
Yeah, for real. Darby Allin took my class and I had no idea. Ha ha ha.
I had, like, child, I didn't know. Like I said, New Orleans, I had too much fresh air on that cruise because I was just ready to go to bed. It had been a long day. And Sherry, it was so funny. Sherry's like, "What if it was Roman that walked by?" I said, "I wouldn't have missed that. Now, if I missed that, you would have had to send me to the hospital."
All right. Up next, our last WWE thing to talk about. Gunther in the Intercontinental Championship. He will be putting his title against main event Jey Uso. Yeet, 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 yeet. Next week on Monday Night Raw. And that'll be interesting to see. I'm excited about that. I don't know. Do you see this with Jey Uso stretching out to WrestleMania, or do you think this is going to be buttoned up and then somebody else is going to challenge him? Because the original plan was Brock, but we can't have that anymore because somebody had to be involved in some
Yeah,
bad things.
it could possibly happen.
Allegedly, we're not going to accuse anybody of anything.
Okay. Possibly it could stretch out to WrestleMania. Well, we already know Gunther won't be able to make the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view because of visa issues, and
right.
I do think that Jey could qualify for the Elimination Chamber. With that being said, and that would be a way to stretch that out. I was hoping to see something with Jimmy and Jey, but they might hold off on that till much later. I could see that Jey and Gunther taking this to WrestleMania and Jimmy costing Jey the match. I could see that. I could
That's a good point.
I could see that. Or Jimmy might cost him on Raw. I don't know. I could see it at WrestleMania though.
Yeah. Yeah, Jimmy costing Jey Uso at WrestleMania would be really good because that could
because he cost Jey at SummerSlam.
Right.
It would be a pattern, and obviously they're not going to do Jimmy and Jey at WrestleMania, but I could see that happening at SummerSlam.
Yeah, they could do that at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were saying Braun Breaker, but I think it's too soon. But if Jimmy is the one to challenge Gunther and Jimmy is the one who costs Jey the match, then Gunther gets to keep his title. And then in the meantime, they can build Braun Breaker up in order to be able to challenge Gunther at SummerSlam and maybe him be the one to
Right. I like that idea too.
Yeah. Because someone else had to... We won't get into that. Ugh. Makes me so sad.
Sugar Shane is here. Good to see you. I hope Seth doesn't turn on Cody and help Roman keep his belts. I seriously doubt it.
No, absolutely not. Especially after all the stuff that Roman just said about him. It was really funny, though. Hey, look at you out here wearing your wife's shoes.
He did, too. Boy, he wore them better than I could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Christine, we were kind of mentioning that.
It's a shame that stuff has to happen. All right, we're going to shift gears, guys, and talk about AEW for a few minutes. I haven't kept up with them as much. I keep up with Eddie's stuff, and then I just kind of gloss over everything else right now. But all right, where'd it go? I had their matches all laid out in front of me. Okay, so far, officially, we don't know about any other matches. There might be some other matches that have been announced, and you guys might know better than we do. But if you do, just drop it in the comments, and we'll bring it up and talk about that too. So far for Revolution in 2 weeks, I believe, we have the AEW Championship and our champion Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Page. I'm just going to go through the list and we can talk about each one after that. How's that? Okay, we have the Continental Classic Championship, Eddie Kingston, our boy Eddie Kingston, versus Bryan Danielson. We have the Women's Championship, Toni Storm, Timeless Toni Storm versus the Virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. And then we have the AEW Tag Team Championships, Sting and Darby Allin. Sting's very last match versus the Young Bucks, them dastardly Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. So that, so far, what I could tell is what is announced for their upcoming pay per view. Revolution obviously has a very special place in my heart, so I'm always interested in what's happening for that pay per view. So, what do you think so far about what's going on? What do you think of Samoa Joe's reign so far going into this thing?
I am so behind on AEW. Unfortunately, and that's one of the main reasons is because I don't have my satellite right now, and I try to catch up with it by reading results or whatnot, but I see that Hangman and Swerve have still got their thing going on, to which, they've been putting on banger after banger after banger, so, like, you can't go wrong.
They just did a draw, I believe. It
Yeah.
was really good. Really good.
Yeah, and, so,
So,
but, yeah,
question
Swerve
for you then.
Go ahead.
Without having to know anything about what's going on the shows. Samoa Joe just won the title off of MJF at World's End at the very end of last year. Would you go ahead and take it off and put it on Swerve because he's just skyrocketing right now? Or would you let Joe hold on to it for a little bit longer?
I would let Joe hold on to it a little longer because I feel like um, Revolution is like the main thing of Revolution is Sting's final match. So
Okay.
I don't, you know,
Good point.
it would be okay if Swerve won, but I feel like it would take it away a little bit because, he would be the first Black AEW champion. He said that's a goal of his. That's something that's very important to him. Um, I wouldn't want to see that overshadowed, but at the same time, it is what it is, whatever they decide to do. But I feel like Samoa Joe can hold it just a little bit longer.
That's a good
I could
point.
see him.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I could see Swerve challenging for it and winning at Double or Nothing, which is one of their biggest pay-per-views of the year. So
You can
why?
kinda have Hangman and Swerve kinda cancel each other out a little bit, and then Samoa Joe just coming in and sneaking in and getting his win.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, because they're gonna be so busy beating the snot out of each other. Joe can just come in and do his thing, and
yeah. Yep, and then
it'll still be good though.
it wouldn't take anything off of Swerve or anybody else, and then Swerve can turn around and Joe could, pin Hangman Page, and Swerve could say, "Hey, you didn't pin me, you pinned him." You know? Yeah.
Oh,
The Prince Nana dance, it's so fun. I like doing it too.
yeah, me and the hubby were big Swerve fans.
Oh, yes. Huge Swerve
Okay,
fans.
hold the phone. Sherry messaged me back. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Oh, dang. She got a question mark. She obviously does not know what
What did she say?
she sent a question mark because I said, "Tell me who was all in that NOLA group." And she's like, "Huh?"
Okay. Yeah, Shane, we were talking about this. We were trying to keep things positive today, so I'm not going to bring your comment up, but we did talk about that. It is a shame, and it's sad news overall. Uh, the Mister's in the chat, and he says Swerve.
Yeah, we're big Swerve fans.
And Hangman got screwed, making it a triple threat match. Yep, it was a draw.
I was going to make a point. You know how everybody waited 3 years for Hangman to become AEW champion?
Yeah.
Maybe they can wait one more year for Cody to be champion. Just saying. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't think WWE fans can wait that long.
Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Fight me! Don't fight me!
Girl.
She had to give
Look.
it to me.
Look, I know you love Roman.
Rock and Roman, yes, I do.
You've been basking in the glory of the tribal chief for 3 years. Let the Cody fans have their little moment.
I'm not a Cody crybaby. I'm a passionate Cody fan. Okay, yeah, it was Zack Ryder, Justin Gabriel, Curtis Axel, and Zack Ryder, Justin Gabriel, Curtis Axel, and it was Tyson Kidd.
That's funny. And you had no clue. You were just like,
I told her, I said if they're at Access, I can't go up to them. I can't. There's no way. I would be so embarrassed.
Okay, so the women's match, Timeless Toni Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo. I don't know if you saw Deonna's debut on into AEW. But I think she came in a few weeks ago. She looks pretty good. I really like her. I don't know if you've seen any of her work anywhere else, but she's a really great talent, and so I'm excited about her being there. I think she's going to be an asset. I don't know if I would have thrusted her into the women's title picture so quickly, because to me it seems like they do that and then they fizzle out and then they're just kind of there. And I really don't want that to happen to her because she's very special. So
Right.
I'm kind of worried about that. But Toni Storm, oh my goodness, is she doing the work of her career right now? It's incredible.
Perfect for her,
isn't it?
Yes.
And her little side chick, oh, Toni, can you watch my match? And she always has an excuse like, oh, I got to wash my hair that day. It's so funny. It's great. I love it.
I know. She nails it out of the ballpark with that.
And I think I do have one. Yes.
They say, chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. Oh, come on.
Yes. I thought I had one, and I was right. No, I hate the mustache. It looks awful. He needs to grow the beard back out.
Is he having another crisis?
Yes. He shaved his beard and he just has like this porn stash now, and it's
oh no,
horrible. It's so bad. We have a newcomer. PIWA Wrestling says, yeah, too quick to put Deonna in there. I think so too. I think they should have had her go through a couple people first and then make her way up to Toni. But this is the problem. Their women's division is kind of lacking at the moment. It kind of always has been lacking and they just don't have a whole lot of stars in their women's division, that really want you to watch it. So they feel like once they sign someone, they're like, ooh, look, shiny new toy, let's put her in there. And then the sparkles, dim after a while. So
I mean, there's highlights in the women's division. Don't get us wrong.
Oh yeah.
They have an amazing talent pool. I think one of the big things about it is the oversaturation, which we talked about in the past.
It's not their talent; it's the way that they've been used.
Presented,
if I want to, presented. Because I love Willow Nightingale. I like Sky Blue. I like
Julia Hart is amazing.
Great. And Ruby Soho and all of them girls. And where's Britt Baker?
She was at the 49ers game with Mercedes and Bailey, Jimmy and Naomi.
Well, that's great, but where is she as far as the show? See, that would have been a great place to put Deonna, her versus Britt Baker to start off.
Yeah. I haven't heard much from her lately. Is she okay?
I hope so. I mean, I know she has problems with her back every now and then. I think was saying that a lot of people were calling for her to step back a little bit, so she decided to listen to them. And I'm like, but the fans are so fickle and silly. You don't
Why
just
would you listen to them? Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Fickle! We got to find that sound clip.
yeah, for real. but yeah, it's things could be better in their women's division. I'm not saying that their talent is bad. I'm just saying that they need to be presented better. Oh, we have to talk about our boy. We have to talk about our boy.
Yes.
We haven't talked about him in a hot minute.
No, we haven't.
Man,
I'm so proud of him,
telling
by
you.
the way. I'm so proud of him.
Me too. He has been doing some post-match promos that have been fire. And
Really?
I hate that they are only on social media platforms and not on the actual show
Yeah.
because they are so fantastic. So fantastic. Talking about how Bryan Danielson is trying to get underneath his skin and that he's not going to do it and he's trying to be the bigger man, but it's so hard. And his facial expressions and the way he just talks, and you can tell that he's seething, but he's trying not to seethe. It's
That's how we initially became fans of his. Remember that little kick in the ass promo that Danielson did to
yes.
fire him up,
I'm telling you, girl, that match that they had, back in December gave me goosebumps because I remember that so vividly because when you sent me that promo that saved my life, by the way, and you had a hand in that, so I want to say thank you, by the way. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for you and Eddie Kingston. So thank you for sending me that.
Eddie Kingston plays a part in for both of us, I think, when it comes to our mental. So
yes, and he was about to wrestle Bryan Danielson. So that was the promo against him.
Right.
It was in a tournament because he had just beaten Lance Archer and he was about to face Bryan next. So it was in a tournament. I think it was for the world title, but still, it was in a tournament. And here we are a couple years later facing Bryan Danielson in a tournament. Oh my goodness. It gave me chills because I'm like, oh my goodness, here we are again. So seeing him beat Bryan Danielson in that match meant way more to me than him beating Claudio for the Ring of Honor title, which was a big deal. And even when he faced Jon Moxley later on, him facing Bryan Danielson is always going to be special to me. So now it's at Revolution, and that Revolution always has a special place in my heart because that's where I got to meet him at. So,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
like, it's just like I'm like in Twilight Zone, like so my emotions are absolutely everywhere as far as that's concerned. So of course I'm like Team Eddie. So
oh yeah, for sure. Coming full circle, you're right. Yeah, we're big Eddie Kingston fans. Eddie Kingston is definitely one of our inspirations here on Peaches and Power Bombs. Yeah, that is the goal of ours to get him on the show.
Yes, one day.
One day.
And we are biased and we are not ashamed of it at all.
Welcome to Peaches and Power Bombs, the most biased podcast you can find. If you hear this recording, that means our host is talking about Eddie Kingston. She loves him, and she's not afraid to say so. Now, carry on.
Our good friend Sarah from Buckle Bomb Entertainment. Eddie is king. Exactly.
Oh, by the way, this was me a couple days ago when I could finally eat solid food and not applesauce.
And then when the time is right, it'll be me and you. But only when the time's right.
Oh.
It was great. I was like, oh, pot stickers, I love you. Thank you so much.
That was me at Zaxby's like last week. Like, I wanted Zaxby's so bad, and I finally got it, and I'm just like, yes.
I can eat at Zaxby's. I can have their traditional wings and their French fries.
Yes.
So,
Indescribably good.
I can have all of their wing sauces except for their teriyaki.
Really?
Yeah. So,
I like their sweet and or is it sweet and spicy?
sweet and spicy, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one I do, sweet and spicy, I think. Anyways,
Talking about food, sorry.
Yeah.
His in-ring work is good. He's been putting on really good matches. He had a good match with Brian Keith, I think is his name. That was a good match. His match was with Willie Mack was good. There was a little iffy spots, but that wasn't really on Eddie. That was more on Willie Mack. Yeah, he's been having really good matches.
What
lately.
you talking about? No. Like
Yes.
you Stewart from Saturday Night Live. No.
Yes, absolutely. And my favorite match of Eddie's so far was him versus Jay White at Battle of the Valley 2023. That was fantastic. That's my favorite Eddie Kingston match.
I got a lot of catching up to do. That's why I'm kind of quiet.
That's okay. That's a year ago. So
I know.
I mean, I'm a weirdo. I follow him around like a lost puppy. And I'm like, oh, is he on this show? I'm gonna watch it, even though I've never seen this before in my life. He's on it. So and he's gonna be on the New Japan show in Chicago on the I don't remember what date that is. It's a Windy City Riot. And I think he's facing Sorry, I'm looking stuff up.
No, it's fine. I was just
April the 12th. And he will be facing Danny Boy, I think. Yes. And that's going to be good. Because I think he's going to bring his crazy Puerto Rican friends.
Ooh.
Homicide! Let's do it! Anyway. That's enough Eddie Kingston fangirling. There's never enough Eddie Kingston fangirling.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
you heard me earlier.
Yep. Last but not least, we do need to talk about the tag team match set for Revolution. Because this will be Sting's last match. Go ahead. Sting and Darby Allin are currently the tag team champions. They just won them off of Big Bill and Ricky Starks last week. And then the Young Bucks attacked them right afterwards. So we're setting that up. And before anybody complains about it being the Young Bucks, let me remind you that 3 months ago, the rumor was that it was going to be Ric Flair. It's not Ric Flair. So let's count all of our stars and be thankful it's not. Okay, I would rather the Young Bucks in 5 million years over that. So yes. I'm not complaining one bit because we could have gotten that.
I love the fact that Sting gets to do this on his own terms this time and not by like by accident when it happened when he had that accident in WWE with Seth Rollins. But
Yep.
yeah, I'm just so glad he got a second chance, and he worked with somebody like Darby to help elevate him, worked with other talent as well. He did everything on his terms, and I'm glad he's getting to end things on his terms too.
I know that AEW is not perfect and they don't do everything right, and they haven't always showcased people the correct way. But I do have to say that one thing that AEW has done right since he entered that building was treated Sting the correct way. I think
Yes.
they showcased him perfectly. He didn't take all the segments, so he didn't take any time away from the young people.
Mm-mm.
He actually brought up people with him, and I don't know if Darby Allin would be the star that he is today if it wasn't for Sting and his association with him, and I really like the fact that Darby Allin never turned on Sting too. I love that. I love that.
And sometimes you don't need that. It's kind of like the New Day. We kept
Yeah.
saying forever, somebody's going to turn on each other in the New Day, and it never happened.
I'm so glad that never happened too, especially now with what's going on with Biggie and everything. We don't know if he's
Mhm.
ever going to return and stuff. So
Mhm.
you don't have to do a Marty Jannetty every time.
Yeah, for sure. I think
Shane,
it's going to be a very emotional match all around.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna be
Probably.
honest.
When is Revolution again?
It is March the 3rd.
March the 3rd. Okay.
Yep.
I was like, I don't think it's in February.
No, it's in a couple weeks,
Okay.
and it's in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And then the following week, Dynamite and Collision will be at the Gas South Arena. Just to throw that out there.
When?
March 6th and March 7th.
I did not know this. Okay, you said Dynamite and Collision.
Uh-huh. Wednesday and a Thursday. I think they're having to do it on Thursday, Collision on Thursday because of NBA stuff.
Ah, I got you. Are they taping
March
Collision
Madness.
or not?
I don't
No.
know if I don't think they're taping it. I think it's going to be live, but I'm not sure.
Okay, I
They might
got
be taping it. I don't know.
I got you. Huh.
I'm trying to. Me
This
and my
up
brother
on
are
top of
trying to
my
go to
calendar,
Collision,
so I had no idea.
and there's really good seats for only $20. By the way,
Yes.
so
That was such a good thing about AEW. I
yes.
can't believe the show we went to, we were like a row apart and didn't even know it.
Oh no, that's funny. That was funny. That was funny. All right. Well, Shane. Oh, Shane has a comment, and then we'll probably wrap everything up. He says, "I have really enjoyed micro wrestling on Discovery Channel. It's good, but they don't show the matches. It's a reality show for the small wrestlers. Oh, that's cool. I have not watched all of the. I saw the first episode, but of the Love and WWE reality series with Montez Ford and Bianca Belair.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't watched all of it. I did like the first episode though. And that's on Hulu. For
Gotcha.
anybody interested. I can't think of anything else to talk about. Miss Ma'am, do you got anything?
No. Mina's sleeping next to the desk. She's ready to go to bed. I'm shocked. I didn't even know she knew what bed was.
All right. Well, guys, we are trying to do more of these shows, maybe once a week, if we can stay well enough in order to do it. It seems like every time we turn around, we get something.
Yeah, and then life happens. And of course, my mom's recovering well from her
That's
surgery.
Good. That's
Yep,
really good.
She's getting around well. Doing good. She has an in-home nurse that visits her every other day, and so
that's good.
We're doing good on that, and yeah. So,
All right, guys. As always, like, share, subscribe. Please stay tuned to the channel in order for updates. We'll let you guys know what we've got going on. We're trying to do some collaborations with some other people, especially, women podcasters and things like that. So keep a lookout for our shows. And without further ado, we'll say goodnight. See y'all.
Good night, sweet peach. It's time to go. Good night, sweet